Oh, and we sent the time home with our kids, yeah.
Alrighty, so, let's go ahead and call our meeting to order. Can I get a motion to call the meeting to order?
I'll second.
Alright, second by Susan. All in favor? Okay. Alrighty. So, what I was thinking is that, we will run through our regular business to start off with, and then we'll go into our closed session, afterwards.
Yeah,
So-
they just dropped off.
I need to run.
So we'll,
Get my phone.
have closed session for about a half an hour before we actually conference with our attorney so that we can all talk, and then we will.
Okay, so it's at 3:00, we're gonna talk to him?
4
4
o'clock.
o'clock.
4:00.
Originally, we thought it was gonna be 3, but his schedule got messed up, so we just flipped it, so that we're doing regular business now. And, I didn't know how many of these anybody have or needs, so I just brought a couple extras for the table, people can share or whatever. We'll get to that in a little bit, so,
McDonald's started the ball rolling, shit. It's been rolling for a while.
well, it's even more now. Wait a minute. So while Paul's out of the room, I guess we'll go ahead and look at last month's minutes. That was from the 30th October. We actually already sent those out and approved them over email, which, don't let me forget somebody. I gotta sign that paperwork for the bank account stuff today.
Yeah,
too.
don't forget to sign the stuff with the picture.
Me
Yeah,
too,
you do too.
me too.
Yeah,
Joe hasn't signed it yet either.
That's it.
I've been here a million
There's
times and I
just
just
one
keep
place
forgetting.
that you have to sign, Jackie.
Okay. Alright, so then, but the minutes are attached, we've already approved those, through email so that we could go ahead and get, the bank account open.
Did those get updated the way, it was either Ida or Susan,
That was a different
was it different minutes?
thing. Yes,
That should have been done already, yeah.
yeah, but not this one. It had to do with a
Who to
motion
sign these?
from the 27th or the 20th.
Yeah, so these minutes were already approved on the 30th, and, by motion of Jackie, second Paul, and Ida, Joe, and Susan all agreeing, as of the, I think the 5th, yeah, 5th of November, so that takes care of last month's minutes. Keith already has those, so those can be posted. Financials. All right,
So we'll go over the summary by department, starting with admin. Income was a typical month. Things that stood out in income was we had $1,100 worth of building permit fees. And also in that was in miscellaneous income. Oh, miscellaneous income had a refund on our workers' comp insurance from when they do their audit. They did an annual audit, so we got a refund.
That almost never happens.
$954, so every little bit helps. On expense side, on admin, what I saw that stuck out was dues and subscriptions was higher, it was about $3,000. $935 of that was Kentucky Chamber of Commerce, and almost $2,000 was ISN, which is our gate software. It's like the tech support for that. Year to date on admin, income is $29,000 higher than what we budgeted to be. Payroll is $62,000 lower than budgeted to be, and operating expenses $25,000 higher than budget. Left us a net income $66,000 higher than budget. On to the lake account.
higher as in better than budget.
Yes. On to the lake account, the income was the lake income money from Monument Chemical. The 3180 expense account, we discussed that last month. It was tree removal on the dam that was miscoded in maintenance, so it was moved from maintenance to the lake department. On the real estate section, the income was just the monthly payment on the lot. So there wasn't much activity there.
So we
The
have,
expenses was a deed prep. And
$200 to do a deed prep?
now $100 for deed prep, and I think
That'd
for
be
some
cheap.
recording. It's actually
$100 for recording some sites.
$100 for the deed prep and
It's down for the recording.
$121 in
Yeah.
recording fees. So,
that's actually cheap.
On to security. Security's payroll was a little bit higher in October than any of the previous months. When I looked at it, we had a holiday in October. We had, there was sick and vacation time that was used. And of course, with security, if anybody takes sick or vacation time, somebody else has to fill in. So that increases. And then there was also training of a new employee. So that raises it a little bit too. But year-to-date payroll is still $6,000 below where we budgeted to be. Operating expenses for October were very low, not even $1,000 for security. And year-to-date, we are $6,800 below where we budgeted to be for expenses. So
Is that attributed to the manager doing good, or is it more attributed to the fact we just didn't hire as many people as we were supposed to hire?
she's
No.
staying on top of it.
She's staying on top.
She's doing a good job.
Really staying on top. of it.
She looks at her expenses and
Mhm.
where she's at.
When there's this adjustment of $1,000 on it, she's in here running what happened, why do we have this extra 1,000 on it? She's really staying on top of it. She's doing an excellent job.
She's a good job.
On to maintenance. Maintenance was a quiet month. Payroll was a bit lower than previous months. Payroll is still year-to-date running $50,000 less than what we projected it to be. On operating expenses for maintenance, $8,000. Some things that stuck out is that one, like I said before, there was a credit in expenses moving that $3,000 from maintenance to the lake. There was $3,500 worth of repair and maintenance on equipment, $1,500 worth of repair and maintenance on trucks, and $3,400 worth of repair and maintenance on the gates. Overall, the expenses are still $43,000 less than what we projected to be, leaving maintenance $93,000 less expenses than we projected.
Now, that's
year to
because
date.
there was one more that we projected to be hiring, we never hired. Is that
They were
correct?
supposed to hire
For
one more
2023.
person,
Yeah.
yes, and they didn't. Now they're at the proper number of people over there. The only thing they don't have right now is the 3 people they usually bring on for summer help, but their number of personnel are actually where they're supposed to be right now.
Now, is that before 2 of them quit or one of them quit?
It's not maintenance that have already people put their notice in, that's utilities.
Okay.
Maintenance has a couple of people that come in and talk to me about pay. But other than that, only one has threatened to quit from maintenance. But utilities is the one we have the biggest problem. That's got the fewer number of people, and we're losing half the team. And if we lose half the team, the oldest member's gonna leave too, because he doesn't want to do the job himself.
Can we put a pin in that till we finish
Yeah.
financials? Thank you.
Okay, on to roads.
It's actually a discussion I really don't want to have while we're live.
Oh, yeah?
Income on the roads, the interest income was higher for October. We had CD interest that we received in October. That's through that number a bit higher. Operating expenses were a bit higher too. We had a small set of patching we did for like $6,800. So our expenses were a little higher in October than normal. For year to date, our income is $29,000 higher than what we budgeted to be. Expenses are about $1,000 higher, leaving us a net income $28,000 better than what we projected to be at this point. Water had a quiet month in October. Some things that stuck out, raw water expenses was back down to about 30,000. We had about $11,000 worth of repair and maintenance on distribution lines. Overall, our income is $89,000 higher than we projected. Payroll is $10,000 less than what we projected it to be. Operating expenses are higher by $95,000, leaving us a net income of $3,400 better than what we budgeted to be at this point in the year.
On that raw water figure, did we have some leaks that we fixed, or is that?
I think that's part of it.
They're
The month
always
before.
fixing leaks.
I know.
But the month before was a lot worse,
The
wasn't
month before was
Yeah, it was
a lot
45.
worse.
The
Yeah.
next
I
month
will
will be
say
worse too.
that this month is back in like 41.
Yeah,
Next
because
will be worse too.
calculations, I can't remember if you were with us yet, Joe, or not, but, we're losing to the tune of about $100,000 a year in leaks.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, big
But the
issue.
last time I heard, now, it's been a long time since I've tracked any of this from Doe Valley Association, but we were within the loss.
The
Ratio.
plus minus.
You know what I'm
threshold,
talking about,
yeah.
for like an
What's
average.
it?
Acceptable.
We're getting
yeah.
acceptable
Right.
water loss. We're actually on the better side of it for the state of Kentucky.
Got it.
Anything 15% is considered acceptable. We're usually between 10 and 20%, depending on the month.
Pat,
This last month we were at 25.
that $11,000 that you mentioned in
Mhm.
there. Now, when you calculate that 11,000 for a broken line, is that paying? We got a consultant, Paul, that comes in and helps us with that, and then we pay him, or is that just material to put in
A
new?
little bit of everything.
It could be the
It
pipe,
could be the
labor.
But it's not the-
stockpiling the pipe, it
It's
could
not,
be
it's
the
not the
actual.
labor of our people though.
No.
right?
No, that's in
No.
payroll.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure.
But if
There
we
are-
have Robinson Pipe Clean come in and
Right.
do the scope, that's gonna show up there, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Okay, on to sewer. Sewer was also a quieter month for October. We pretty much broke even, had a net income for the month of $387. Year to date, our income is higher than projected. Payroll is lower, operating expenses are lower. Overall, we are $130,000 lower in net loss than we projected. But we've discussed that before. That's because of classification of some capital versus expense. We did make our first large payment to Dirtworks for the capital work on the lift stations. That was $123,000. So,
We
And
like
that- and that was pretty-
$20,000
and that
big
was
deal.
pretty much for pumps and
Materials.
Materials
Mhm.
to get started.
That number might worry. I hate that number now.
Marina had a good month. Something that stuck out on income, the miscellaneous income was a bit higher. We had $1,100 worth of boat registration fines
Sweet.
from people that still
And
had not.
that's where they're gonna go, is under that miscellaneous.
Still had not,
So Paul paid his fine?
No.
that's where it was
Paul's gonna
put.
pay
It
it.
probably could
Yeah.
be moved back up to like that boat registration.
So, yeah, whether
But
they
it is
register
under-
it or
yeah,
pay a
Pay a
fine.
fine, yeah,
Okay.
that's probably
Paul's son
what should
was
be.
not on that.
should be-
It's registered.
Yeah, it was not on that list.
It was,
Nor was yours.
Jeff Hancock came, took care of mine though. It's good to have buddies. man.
Yeah.
We took care of a lot of people.
But
Yeah.
he'll take care of any, all you gotta do is
Exactly.
call him and
He'll
he
take
will
care of
actually
anybody.
come to your dock and take care of it,
Yeah.
he
alright?
must have
There's
took
no
care of
special-
mine then.
Maybe
Favoritism, he'll
might
take care of anybody.
Year to date, the marina is doing better than projected. Their net income is $8,700 higher than what we projected to be at this point. Campground is still busy in October. We have $2,500 worth of of income, about $1,000 worth of expenses. So campground had a good month. Year to date, we're $3,700 better than what we projected to be at this point. Our expenses are $1,300 less than what we projected to be at this point, giving us about a $5,000 higher net income than what we projected to be.
And you
At this
close
point.
it the 1st of November?
1st of November, it was closed, yes. Because what's not tracked on here is the losses we had. It went against maintenance for their maintenance repairs for blown water lines, hoses and stuff like that, which is about $2,000. And we just don't make that with the people spending
Right.
the winter there. It's not worth it.
October for the S&T Club was a slower month. Income was $19,000. Income did pretty much cover the cost of goods sold and the payroll expenses. Cost of goods sold was really low, whereas last month it was a little higher. I think it evened itself out at that point. Year to date, our lost where I'm at. Year to date, our net losses at the club are about $14,000 more than what we projected to be at this point.
And what was the overall projection for 2023?
120,
So
Once again,
and we're at 128,000.
damn figure keeps coming up.
Well, but it also had been trending towards being higher than even that, and it
Yeah.
seems like in the last
Yeah,
few
it has
months.
slowed down, yeah.
Yeah, it has definitely done better. So again, anytime we're in those types of losses, nobody's happy about that.
Are we
But
making money? I'm sorry.
We're not.
No.
Shannon's just controlling, she's controlling the,
control losses.
But
Yeah.
are we making money with having it open for the football games and stuff like that?
Probably not.
well,
Well,
what's your
it's
initial
doing
thought?
better,
That's what,
so-
that's a better
We're
question.
our Sundays are a lot better.
Yeah.
Mondays are hit and miss. I know people are upset that we're closed on Wednesdays. Numerous people complain about that, but we have to take consideration, do we want to pay, we're open 6 days and that's an additional cost for us, additional overhead. And the number of people that actually come out on Wednesdays, is it going to pay for itself?
it's historically
So
one
right
of the
now-
lower attended, isn't it?
No, Wednesdays are the best day.
Wednesday, they made money.
Yeah, they made money on
Wednesdays and
Wednesdays.
Friday nights were pretty good.
I mean, if you could give us the numbers, the Wednesday numbers and the Monday numbers, I mean, maybe the decision is to not do Monday and do Wednesday
Yeah, I would-
instead.
Yeah.
I would
exactly.
ditch the Monday night football.
Just get the point of sale report.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, it's your call. I mean, you're running the place.
Right now, we're sticking with what we got until the end of the football season.
Then
And
we can take-
January will be when they open it back up, we'll revisit it. But I need to see. 1 month does not equate
No.
No.
No,
to
we-
results.
Right.
Alright, so going back and taking a look at what happened in September versus what happened in March is not effective because that's when we first changed over.
Right.
And you can't capture that.
Yeah, we need, on the new stuff, we need a couple of months of data.
Few months, yeah. Well, and hopefully Keith will have time between now and then to get us some point of sales data on some of this stuff.
Go ahead, Patsy.
Okay, on to recreations, quiet month, off season. Year to date, our income was $4,400 better than we projected. Payroll was higher than we projected to be too. Our payroll cost was $8,000 higher. Our expenses, for the pool and beaches was $17,000 higher than we projected. So our net loss so far is $20,000 more than what we projected it to be.
While we're on recreations, we're missing a boat. We're missing one of our lifeguard boats. It's green, bi-hull. If you know where it is, please let us know so we can come pick it up. I don't want to buy one again next year. But we're missing one. It's been missing now for about 2 months. I've put requests out in the newspaper. Hopefully we'll find out about this. I put it out on Facebook. If anyone knows about it, please let us know. Those are expensive.
And it's our dues dollars that go to repurchasing those, so it just hurts everybody.
A
if
lifeguard
we can't
boat?
find
And
it.
we have to.
It's a lifeguard
One on
safety
each
boat,
beach.
yeah.
We have to
On the
have,
beach.
We have
Yeah.
to have for the one on each beach.
Have to
it's
have
a
one on
health
each beach.
ordinance
Mhm.
requirement.
There's a picnic table up there too, isn't there? at the East Beach. Used to be 6, but there's only 5 now.
Okay.
That's a pretty good walk.
Onto the snack bar, the only, item in snack bar was, a little bit of cleaning, payroll expenses. We had, one of the girls was in there finalizing, cleaning and shutting everything down, until next spring. On to after-school care.
Camp.
Day camp after-school care, was a break-even month, had $178, net income. Income year-to-date is $750 higher than projected. Payroll expense is higher by $6,700. Operating expenses are higher by $4,500, so our net income is about $1,400 less than where we projected to be at this point. It still has a $7,400 net income.
Better than budget.
Well,
Not-
we're about $1,400 less than where we budgeted to be, but we still have an income there of $7,400.
Yeah, still a positive.
It's still positive, it's just not as big of a positive.
Yeah.
Okay, on to the golf course. October was a slower month for the golf course. Some things that stood out is we had the fire expenses for the pro shop, having that trailer there, about $2,500. Year to date, fire expenses on the golf course side, not counting the 19th hole, we've spent about $18,000 on fire related expenses. So we had a net loss in October at the golf course of $8,700. Year to date though, our expenses and our payroll have been good. So our net loss, but our income hasn't been as high. We were $80,000 under budget, under what we're budgeted to be on income. So our net loss at the golf course is $67,000 more than what we projected to be.
What was the overall projections for the year for the loss? Was it, do we know?
I don't have that information right in front of me. Year to date, right now, we projected to be at a net loss of $6,300, and we're at
67,000.
no $6,300, and we're at 73,000.
So
How many games of golf is that? Maybe we can have special tournaments.
On to the 19th hole. The only thing in 19th hole was Carrie's payroll, that one that we talked about, Susan, that showed up just in regular wages. That is where I did the accrued wages. I just coded it all to wages instead of breaking down Carrie's versus.
Okay.
So that's all still Carrie's.
Okay.
And then the only operating expense that's
Jackie.
showing is a garbage expense, and that needs to be moved to the pro shop. So overall,
So that's what it's supposed to be right there.
our bottom line for October, we had a net income of $67,000. Year to date, our net income is $93,000 less than what we budgeted to be, but our cost of goods sold are less than what we projected they would be by $45,000. Our payroll expenses are less by $196,000. Our operating expenses are less by $109,000. So that makes our net income $256,000 more than what we projected it would be at this point. And then our capital expenditures, we budgeted to be at $260,000 so far, and we are at $765,000 in capital expenditures
For 2023, doesn't it?
for 2023. Yes.
Patsy, is there a place on our summary page where you could put what the year budget was for that category? So for instance, the S&T or the golf course, like I just asked, what was the overall budget? Because every single month, I find my brain thinking, what was that number?
What was the overall year?
Mhm.
Okay.
That's the number you're tracking, as
Yeah,
far as if we're
I
ahead
track
of
it as
budget
a
or
year-
below budget.
Well, I try to show it year to date, just see where we are, but I can,
Put the total
at this point, I
amount
don't know if I could
yeah, I don't
have
know.
room to put it on there, but I'll make sure that I have that number with me when in the meeting, so.
And if you could look at it to see if you can squeeze it
Yeah.
somewhere, I'd appreciate it.
Okay.
Even if it's at the top of each spreadsheet,
Yeah.
somewhere up here, you could just put it in the title or something, because I think that's something, and Joe asked a similar
Mhm.
question, I think that's something that.
Well, only reason I ask is because you're tracking it based upon a budget number.
Right,
A lot of times it's ahead of budget or it's below budget.
and we just don't know what that budget
And
number
and
is.
sometimes I can't keep it in my head,
Right,
so it would be good to have it on the.
I'll see if I can figure something out for that.
thank you, Patsy.
Thanks, Betsy.
All right, can I get a motion to accept the financials as reported by
I'll make the
Patsy?
motion.
All right,
Second.
all in favor?
Alright.
Aye. All right, Keith, you're up, please.
All right, last month was a relatively quiet month. We had no reports of theft. We did have 2 accidents. Both of them were at the front gate. Actually, one was a forced entry through gate number 2.
Oh,
Criminal mischief, we had 1 account of kids playing ding dong ditch. Other than that, it was pretty quiet. We're not receiving complaints so much, but if you go to Facebook, it looks like there's a lot more complaints about animals. But we could use those complaints so we can get those tracked down. We only had 2 gate violations last month, so those are getting a lot better. We did have 1 domestic, 0 noise complaints, and 1 welfare check.
What? Sorry, she's,
I was
Okay.
picking on him, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
okay.
she loves my dogs.
The reports of speeding are getting better. Either people aren't reporting them or people are actually going the speed limit. We only had 1 last month. And we've gone from 600 gate malfunctions down to 138 during the month of October. And I expect to see that bounce back up for this month because we're having problems with gate. We had problems with gate number 2 again. But it was pretty quiet for the month of October. Utilities, we've got 6 full-time, supervisor plus 5. We had 3 water line repairs. Daily water usage was 205,000 gallons plus little. Overall water usage was 6.3 million. And we did have a loss though of 817,000 gallons from broken lines. They were repaired. We had 8 sewer repairs. And it seemed like they went right down the line. So whatever clogged one up, clogged the next one up, clogged the next one up. So we did have some outflows, but our guys were on top of it as quick as they could.
Where were those? Were they in the areas where we're working now, and hopefully they'll be helped?
Yes. It went from lift stations 3, 4 to 5, all in order, like that. And 4 and 5 got clogged like 3 times though, so they had some outflows. But we had Robinsons down there to fix it. Plus, also they are finally in the ground, so hopefully we're gonna have better functioning operational down there.
You pass, after class, can you pass out a map of where 3, 4, and 5 are?
Yeah. I'll give it to you. I can show you where all of them are actually. We average about 64,000 gallons of sewage on a daily basis with 1.9. We're still only about half capacity right now for our sewage department, so that's pretty good. As I said, we had 8 blockages and 8 overflows that were handled. There's no violations in the wastewater treatment plant. The water coming out of there is still good enough to drink. Paul, right after you. The pool is closed. The tarp has been installed. As for projects we're working on that are in progress, refurbishing of all the sewer pump stations. Pump station number 1 has already gone in the ground, and we're waiting for the electricians to hook it up. Hopefully we'll have that in the next couple weeks, and that one will be up and operational. Pump station 4 was the next one they were working on. As of last week, before Thanksgiving, they'd already gotten the holding tank in the ground, and they were waiting on the electricians to come over there and start doing work. And then, of course, we have 5, and then 8 will be taken care of.
The electricians are hired by Dirt Works, right?
Mhm.
Yes, yes.
You're not offering to hire for Dirt
No,
Works, are you?
no, No. This is a Dirt Works contract. They've got it all. We got on here replacement of all meters over 10 years old in progress. This is an ongoing thing, so I'll be removing this next month because they're constantly replacing or putting new meters in. It's part of their daily function. So I don't see why we're actually tracking that, and I'll be removing that next month.
You know what percentage maybe of the old ones they've gotten through?
They go through them as soon as they get a chance to. I do not know the percentage of them because
I guess they have a list
They
somewhere.
have a list, a master list. Actually, what they're doing right now, because it's so hard for us to get the meters, is as a meter fails, they go and replace that meter.
Could you transfer that tracking mechanism from your report to their report so that way they're still reporting it and then you can
Well,
follow it up?
he does. Jonathan does.
Right, and then that way you can bring it to our attention as needed. I would like to be kept abreast on milestones though, if it looks like, we're hitting the 50% mark, 75% mark, whatever, that'd be great.
Okay.
Along that same lines, that third water tower that we're talking about, that's over there by the old maintenance area over there. What's the situation with that?
The 50,000 gallon one,
Yeah.
bringing the third one up.
Last thing I talked, they were actually going to contract out Chris Stone to do the work for that because the guy's behind. So once Chris Stone gets back to me on when he's going to get it started, we'll get started. But they believe they got everything they need right here already.
What type of work would he be doing? Would it be
Just
the
digging.
Replacing the valves, digging
digging?
and replacing the valves.
He's pretty close there, so.
Yeah. Hydrant repair and replacement. Parts are on back order for the longest time. We did contact another company though that deals with fire hydrants for big cities to see if they can skip some parts off to us. Because we do have about 12 fire hydrants that have been out now for a very long time that really should be brought back up to line. The problem is though, even if they are brought back online, they still don't have they still will not be they'll be fire suppressant and not to put the fire out.
Right.
It's just to keep the house from beside you from burning. Water lines, sewer lines, we're still doing that in progress, and that'll be an ongoing event for the next couple of years. Patsy's already mentioned the ARPA funding. We did put out about $140,000 over the last month and a half for ARPA. $20,000 went to Ken Byron's, the engineers that did it. That's their last payment, and then $123,000 went to Dirt Works to pay for the equipment that they've got. But we're still well within the money that we have saved up, and we still have $30,000 of ARPA funds to do before we go into the money we collected on.
Is there a time frame on that?
On ARPA funds, yes, we have until 2026. We're well
Okay,
within
so
it.
we're,
Once we get our next bill from Dirt Works, that
It's
money will
gone.
be used up.
okay.
Okay. And I'll submit my final report to City Hall.
When do I anticipate the next draw from Dirt Works, the next milestone?
I have a meeting with Dirt Works on the 30th in the morning.
Okay.
So I'll find out then.
All right.
We have committees out there that we'd love to see revitalized, and we have a couple committees that are operational right now that are starting to die out. The advisory committee really needs some people on it within the community so they can give what they're hearing from the community back to us and get back to the board. The last meeting I went to, there was 4 people there, including myself.
Is that part of the reason why I didn't hear anything about the turkey trot thing?
The turkey trot thing, they got to them too late. Not enough time to plan, and there just wasn't any planning done for it.
Okay. I know they'd reached out asking to do it, which we
Yeah,
had said yes,
Said
please by all
yes.
means run
I
with it.
think that I'm not sure if they possibly thought that I was going to be involved in that. I don't have time to set up a.
No, I mean,
That's
they need
their
to
job.
help
That's
the
their
community,
Um,
but we certainly green light and support it.
The last conversation we had though was that they did like the idea and they're gonna start planning it out in advance. And it's like, yeah, you need to get on that like 90 days beforehand to get everything out, make sure the word gets out, you have all your sign up sheets
Yeah,
and everything taken care of. I'm sure this will come up the next advisory committee meeting. But I know they did go over, do an after action report on it and came up with what they're gonna do in the future to make sure it doesn't happen again. Cause it was a great idea, just
Was.
didn't have enough time.
Right.
Other than that, I think we're done.
Great. Making a motion to accept the GM's report as written and presented.
I'll make a motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Susan, you said yes, right? Okay. Alrighty. So what other reports do we have, Keith? I know you're getting reports from maintenance and security and stuff on a
I actually
regular
got my
basis.
first report from maintenance today and I
Awesome.
haven't had time to go over it, so I really can't talk on it.
Alright, maybe you can just
Security
email
gotta get a
us.
report on a daily basis. I look at security's reports every single day, the first thing when I come in,
Okay.
to see what actions or what unique situations happened. And that's pretty much what I build my first part of my briefing off of is the security reports.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, it seems like you have a really good report in yours.
yeah,
from
she
that,
does
so.
she does a real good job. She does. Just every now and again, they send it to my old email address, so I have to go looking for it.
Well, after you get a chance to debrief from the maintenance, will you either forward it to us or
Yeah,
just
I
give
will
us a
forward it.
summary of
Like I
your
said,
thoughts?
I gotta take a look at it, and as soon as I get a chance to, I'll
Just give us
do
an
it.
update.
It's gonna give me a day, please, on this.
Yeah, sure. And then going forward, just ask them to have it ready.
Going
and-
forward, I've told them that I need it a lot sooner, and I also need it on electronics. I don't want it
Yeah,
written.
exactly.
We just discussed that earlier today.
Well, that way you can roll it into your report,
Mhm.
just like you do with security.
Correct.
Yeah.
And utilities, he gives me a report every month on the 16th to outline what's going on.
Yeah,
It's
because
an
you also
outstanding-
have those.
Yeah, it's a very detailed, very good report, and that's once again what I build it off of. Jonathan does an excellent job of tracking what his guys are doing.
Yeah.
Where they're at.
Definitely. Alrighty. Okay. Next up, talk about some new business. We did meet with Schnabel Engineering, Ben Webster, and they gave us a second bid and quote for the dam maintenance and study work that needs to be done. We did choose to go ahead and go forward with them and to accept their proposal to work with them. So I am going to ratify that vote right now. We need to go ahead and move with that so that we can have the report ready for the state and get the next actions flowing. So that motion was by Joe, seconded Paul, all directors, Jackie, Susan, Ida, and unanimous support for going forward with that. And that was an initial bid of $15,000. And then, of course, it'll ratchet up from there based upon what the study's actual cost will be and any maintenance or repair recommendations. So we'll also be looking at other partners to the extent possible and also state funding, things like that. That's one of Schnabel's qualities is the fact they have a good relationship on those things. So hopefully that'll turn out to be a good
When you
thing.
say partners, what are you talking about?
With the state.
With the
they're good
state, I
people.
mean, they've worked with a lot of the public funding and stuff, so, and then other partners, meaning, the road department and.
Well, yeah, I'm just telling you, I think that at the end of the day, when this is all said and done, we're gonna have to, the legislature's gonna have to kick them in the tail and force them to do the right thing because they
They have a
think
road
that,
over it.
they think that they don't have any responsibility. The transportation cabinet, the 4th district here in E-Town, I think they think that there's no responsibility on their part. And they're gonna have to be corrected by the legislature on that.
Well, as I've said in open meeting, and Keith was there,
Mhm.
they can say that all day long. I hear the words coming out of their mouth, but I have officially stated we disagree and feel otherwise, and we'll revisit that as it comes
One
down.
thing about Ben is he did say he worked with it.
Oh,
As
he
you
will.
guys saw from the
We'll work
video,
with Joe.
the pictures he got, he can actually show where the road is coming down because of the action. And when we talked about the heavy trucks, he threw the BS flag up in the air when they said it's not because of that. And also with the when the study was done. So they're definitely going to help us in that area.
Don't we have an electronic version of what Schnabel presented that day? Just those couple of slides?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought we forwarded, that happened, yeah, we'll get it to you all. Sorry about
Thank you.
that. Cause that was for everybody, it just somehow didn't get forwarded. Alrighty, I'm gonna table the next thing and then we're gonna go on to, the S&T, Lakeside Bar and Grill. So we had a proposal from Chef Mudd, to work with the Lakeside Bar and Grill, and help us to hire a chef, because we've not had any good luck finding a good, head chef, as well as helping to fine tune menu items and cost effectiveness and things of that nature. And again, I reemphasize, these efforts are to match the hard work that our staff is doing. They are working very hard over there. It's just the results, we still end up in the red a lot. So we're trying to help that situation. So Keith, do you want to talk anything about that proposal? Or I feel like, I don't know.
The proposal comes in where he wants to come in every other week to sit down with Shannon to go over different aspects and almost train her on operation of a kitchen, bar, restaurant operations. Also to help train our the kids we have in there better cooking techniques, to get away from just fried food specialties.
Yeah.
It does come with a cost.
I don't have I thought I had the proposal with me, but I don't. So I can forward that out to everybody and we can take a look at that.
But it's designed to hopefully open up new avenues, new thought processes as to what we could possibly do to make, start showing some kind of an improvement in there. I know Shannon, she busts her butt. She does bust her butt. And she needs assistance, not because she doesn't know what she's doing, but you only know what you know.
And we should provide training. If she's in charge, she
Correct.
should get training.
Mhm.
Yeah, everybody should
Correct.
have an opportunity.
Maybe
for that.
Carrie could come over too and listen.
Mhm.
Get some ideas for the 19th hole.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of good knowledge here, and this Chef Mudd has been.
This is one of those things where we have to spend money to make money.
Yeah.
And it will not be, it's not
I
gonna be
wanna say
overly
it's-
expensive.
Yeah, I
It
want
was
to.
about $5,000.
Yeah, so I mean,
But
not
that's just a rough number. Don't hold me to that.
well, and it would
Um,
vary based upon the needs. So if it turns out to be more than what was expected, then he'll revisit with us, and if it'll be less, then obviously we adjust. But it seemed very, very reasonable, so I'll send that out to you guys, and maybe we can talk about that soon. And find a place in the budget where we can cover that. All right. I do want to report that we did already receive a referral from the Knot and Wedding Wire marketing. I don't think anything came of it, but at least we already have had one referral so far. And Carrie's been working on getting that site put up to speed with pictures and changings of narratives and things like that. So at least
How's the
we are.
barn coming?
We've got the barn. I know that the lake committee cleaned out their part. Did maintenance go ahead and get the rest of it cleaned
Maintenance got everything done except for 3 items. I'm gonna hold those items to myself when we broadcast live. There's 3 items in there that we need to look at how to get them out of there.
out? Okay.
This is the horse barn you're
This is
speaking
the
of.
horse barn, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But once those 3 items are out of there, we're set to move forward. The volunteers can go in here. They could actually start tear down in one half of it and start working towards the other, because they are right there towards the front. But maintenance has got just about everything out of there already.
All right. And then also,
Just those big barrels that we need to have removed.
Also, I've made a new contact, which I'm not going to announce here because nothing's been formalized. So I'm not going to say names or anything. But I've made a new contact with someone who's in the industry of weddings and special events, and they were very excited to hear that Doe Valley will be offering a barn, in the upcoming year and opening up to have some space for some special events.
Does it have heat? It doesn't have heat now, does it?
No, but
So we'll
we
have to-
well, that or we just do it seasonally, like a lot of places do. So
Okay.
anyhow, they were really excited
wanna
about
do it
that.
in
Plus,
the
they can
wintertime?
also
They can rent those.
they can
here.
rent them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
rent
that's what a lot of people
Okay.
do. Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, looks positive. Okay, next thing I wanted to talk about, just want to get this out of the way really quickly. Our next regular board meeting is scheduled for the 18th and then the 11th for the planning meeting, but they're only listed as being as needed, and we will be coming together on the 12th, isn't it, for the employees? Is it the 12th? Okay.
What's the 12th?
So do we want to still meet or just do the planning meeting, or what do we want to do on those guys?
Interesting. Could just meet on the 12th before and go straight into the.
Susan's got a lot to do.
You're
Not,
right.
not me.
As soon as I got that last syllable out of my mouth, that's when I realized that was a bad idea.
I think we should meet sometime in the middle of the month, maybe not an official
Right.
board
we'll
meeting,
just
but
be
board
we
right.
should meet. And the reason why is that we do have,
We have so much going on.
we have the
guys.
meeting with, on the 12th with, Prodigy,
Prodigy.
for the
19th
the
hole.
19th hole, and I think we should meet for that afterwards, as soon as possible afterwards, so we can get information back to Prodigy as soon as.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. So,
So basically just don't have a regular board meeting and just have a working meeting?
yeah.
Yes.
Well, we can then hold it on the 18th. That would be a week after.
Would they give you enough time, or do we need to do it like on that Wednesday? If you're meeting them Tuesday, we meet Wednesday, get an answer, and then get it back to them on that Wednesday.
The sooner the better, but I'd like for you guys to get the information and be able to digest it before we go jumping in
Okay.
anything.
Okay,
So would the 18th still work?
I think the 18th would probably be a good day.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
just for an informal meeting.
All right.
We'll just call that, that's the working meeting. then.
Yeah. So no regular board meeting. We'll just have a working meeting on the 18th. All right.
At 3:00.
Yeah, I think so. Because Paul, you have to take off work early and stuff, and Joe does too. I think that seems to work best. The work, Joe, you too.
Don't mention it to my wife or something, right? She,
All right, 3:00 then.
3:00.
All right.
If Paul can do it, I can do it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we talked a little bit about the water tower, and we got an update on that. 19th hole, where are we at on that, please? Wait a minute, I'm sorry. Before we get to that, because that'll be a little bit of conversation. Holiday appreciation, can we talk about that? Where are we at on that? How's that going? Do you need help?
I don't need help. It's just, I haven't had as many volunteers. That's why I reran it yesterday. But I got several yesterday and today. So, and I'll do it again. I think it'll be fine. I do need a person that I could come in and meet with. It'll be real short this week. I've got my list of employees, but I don't have like security. I don't have anybody's but Angela. And some employees, I don't have their last name, and for their bags, I need first and last name. Is there whoever does payroll that I can meet with, clean up my list?
Yeah, I'll talk to Beth.
Okay.
And I'll help, I'll donate some gift cards as well. I just didn't put anything on Facebook.
Yeah, you had told me that. I had that on my list.
Do you have the
And
meeting
then-
for dinner?
I had a couple of people. I had you,
You
Okay.
need
and
more?
then I've had, well, yeah, but I mean, like I said,
I'll
got a
bring
couple.
what do you call it, butt roast or something like that.
Okay.
Butter.
Um,
Austin Butter.
At what point, Susan, do you feel like, I mean, at a
Good,
certain
maybe.
point,
Yeah.
if you feel like we're gonna come up short, can you email us and let us know we need to either help you or B, the board just has to pick it up?
Yeah. And so there's one other thing that I need that I don't know if you all have an email system that you can send out to the employees. I need to know from the employees who is coming and how many people they're bringing with them, so that I get a number, kind of have a number on that. And
And their
then,
names, right?
well, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, but I'm gonna get names of everybody. So even if somebody
Just the
doesn't
main
come,
employee, their name, and then party of three, party
Right,
of four.
right. But
Gotcha.
even if somebody doesn't come, I intend to have a little gift bag for them. But I need to know, are there 20 employees coming or 40? Yeah, so I need to
No
know
problem.
that. And then
I'll get that out tomorrow.
ideally, what I would love to have, if there's any way to get it, if they could drop them off here or whatever, is a paragraph about each employee. That's kind of like the one that you put in the newsletter when you spotlight an employee that just, you're so-and-so, and they've been working here 20 years in this department and that. Because I wanted to kind of do a little,
Recognize it, yeah.
recognize them, you know, as we go along.
Also too, that'd be great for the messenger. Give it to Arlene and let her get that in the messenger of all our employees and how they're doing.
I think,
So, sorry, I just completely blanked. Crap, I hate it when I do
I'll
that.
help you with
Oh.
what you need on the 12th.
324, Jackie.
Yeah,
We're in some
I
trouble,
will
man. Don't
be.
do that.
I will
I will-
be, yeah.
I'll get some other people to help you.
All right,
The
well,
money's a
thank
good thing to get,
I
right?
forgot
Money-
completely what I was gonna say.
If people, if the residents want to give money, that's the,
That's fine. And
Yeah.
what I'm
they
doing
they need
with
to
that,
obtain the.
right, then I
cards and
can
stuff.
give, because some people bought gift cards and those are in set amounts, and then now I'm having to
Yeah,
then
it's-
try to mix and match and all that. So,
Hard to small.
Yes.
the
So
Democrat
cash would actually be
democracy.
better than gift cards.
yes,
Yes.
but I'll be happy with either way. Anybody that gives me cash, I'm gonna make a picture when I buy the cards and send back to them and all that, so.
It was managers. Maybe the managers can help do a little bio.
Maybe. I want to be sure and not try not to put work on anybody, because then it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Defeats
thanks.
the purpose. Yeah. Okay. All right. Next up, 19th hole. Can you give us a quick status? It sounds like we're meeting with them on the 12th. Is that right?
Okay, I'm gonna give 19 Pole and Pro Shop all in one. The Pro Shop is online to open back up again. We cannot run natural gas, so we're having a propane tank brought in. And we'll be switching the heater over to propane for the time being. And we'll be bringing an electrical water heater in that we have from one of the other buildings that's not being used right now for hot water inside there. So we are still tracking to get the Pro Shop open as soon as possible, especially before December 6th, and we get hit with a $4,000 bill from Will Scott. As for the 19th hole, they're supposed
Wait
to
a minute, let
start.
me ask you, Wilbur, do you have any idea when you'll have heat and electric? Because I was gonna.
I'm
offer
hoping this
to-
week. I'm
Okay.
hoping this week. It all depends on when we can get the propane tank here.
Okay.
Electric's up.
Okay.
Electric. I mean, we could send them in there right now with heaters.
Right.
Plug the
I
heaters
was
in the
just
wall.
gonna offer for Justin to go in there and do some cleaning, but I didn't know.
No, electric's
when-
up. You can go in there. You can go.
What
in there.
about water in there?
Water's operational too.
Okay.
So there's water and electric, just no heat yet. Okay.
Water,
the
water,
issue-
sewer, and electric are there. We just don't have heat.
And
It'd
the issue with that is because it's still on shared lines with the other, right?
Yes, and
Yeah.
the share lines run under cement, so we're not digging cement up in order to get them. It's cheaper for us to put a propane tank in there. And
So
run
the
propane.
furnace is running off of natural gas?
Yes. All we need to do is put an adapter in there for propane.
Okay, so they won't run natural gas to it, but
Well, the natural gas is also going to the 19th hole, so you've just got pipes sticking up in the debris. So there's nothing we can do with that right at this point. We can in the near future once they do demolition, which
The meter to the gas comes up and the 19th hole. The primary line goes into the 19th hole.
All right.
demolition, when's that gonna
Demolition.
start?
Demolition is supposed to start this week. They
Okay.
said they'd be starting it after Thanksgiving. Well, we're after Thanksgiving. So demolition and cleanup should be happening this week
Awesome. All right. And when's that meeting with Prodigy? On the
on the
12th?
12th.
Okay.
So hopefully on the 12th, we can compliment them on the cleaned up area.
Yeah. All right. And then, yeah. Okay. Talked about that.
Jackie, one quick thing about the 12th. On this meeting, is Prodigy gonna come to us with some sort of this is what they.
A base.
A base,
Base.
plan. This is what we
Yes.
think the base,
Yes.
and then we.
Yeah,
all
they're gonna
think
come and
base.
take a look at it and say, look, what you guys want is not gonna happen unless you wanna pay this much money.
Well, they can give us a base of
yeah.
what they think that the insurance will pay
Yeah,
for, right?
that's one thing they're doing, yes.
Yeah.
And they're not just, the reason it's taken this time is that they're actually going through the pictures that's been provided to them through Carrie to find out what we had on the inside, anything special that should be included that possibly was missed. So they're trying to capture every single cent possible.
Okay. Quickly, I know that we've had a lot of issues with the gates, and it has to do with software. Where are we at on that back gate? Is it just that we've got that part still ordered or what have you?
The back gate was a power
power supply of some sort?
When they put these gates in, they did it as cheap as possible. And what they did is they took the gates that were there before and they wired the new gates through them. So while we had a power problem in the new gate, once they fixed that power problem, it actually tracked back to the old gate. So they had to replace the breaker box on the old gate. That was finished last week, and everything seems to be working fine. That's one thing I definitely make sure when they come and update these things, that we don't go. This needs to be straight. I mean,
Yeah, we can't be going through other things. Yeah.
We had two gates up and then they closed one of them off, which kind of messed things up and started having issues then.
All right. When we have a new roof on the office building, so that's
that
all
came
good.
in under what they bid us, and we also got they threw in gutters and we also got gutter guards too.
Sweet,
That's awesome.
So with all the leaves around here, it's one less thing maintenance has to worry about.
yes.
What did they end up charging us?
$18,900, then plus or minus $50.
Okay.
I know it was under $19,000 and their bid was for $19,800.
Awesome.
Let
Good
me
job.
ask one more question. It's not really the office, but it's admin.
Okay.
Do you have any idea when have we bought that new software? The office software?
Yeah, the CUSI software has been purchased. We put a down payment on it back in September, and they said there was 4 months. 4 months, they were behind by 4 months.
okay.
So it'll be
we'll be looking at
January-ish.
January-ish before they actually got to us, and then they'd start billing it. We'd be looking at possibly March before it was actually up and operational. And that's the same thing with the software we're getting from ISN. The updates
So
for
the
the
gates.
gates
The
and all
gates.
that. They're waiting on. I just signed the check form today. So once they get that check, they'll start working on it for us. And then it's going to be scheduling the installation and getting everything up and operational. The nice thing about it is it's Pro Pass to Pro Pass, so it should, in theory,
People
go
won't-
seamless.
Yeah.
All right.
People won't have to come in and get new. All right. All right. With that in mind, I need to make a motion that we close our regular session and that we go into executive session, please. I'll make that motion. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you, Paul.
Sorry, trying to do more than one thing at a time. Susan, Joe, in favor?
So that, yeah.
All right, thank you. We are now in executive session as soon as the feed is entered.
Okay.